Oh my gosh, it looks like they're pushing through the barrier. I can hear creaking. The fence is creaking. This does not look good. This looks like it's very, very bad. All right, we're going to back up.
Okay, yeah, I was about to say, let's maybe go to Desmond's shot and SkyCal to see if we can get a better picture. But according to Tom, they may have breached the encampment or the gate there. The gates that they had separating the groups.
They are. It's breaching now. It's breaching now. Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh.
Full-on fighting, and now you can hear the screaming, whereas before, Tom, when I answered that question, did you hear any yelling or, you know, were they marching or shouting in unison?
Oh, no.
But now you can. Where do you see people getting hurt,
gosh.
Tom?
I just see, Pat, I just have, this is awful. They're breaking the barrier down now. I can't see anything, anyone hurting each other, but oh my gosh.
And they're on the move again.
Boy.
But
and there are no police officers here.
Yeah, that was no law enforcement.
No, not that I can see.
That's surprising at this point, being all that has played out down there tonight. Tom, earlier you were live and you were talking about that extra barrier police had up, the fencing there to separate the two groups. We were talking about this earlier about how pieces of the fence, have been taken down, and now one group is using that to sort of get closer to the encampment, taunting them. Is that the same? Is that the same sort of fencing that that barricade you were talking about earlier, separating the two groups?
Yeah, it was. It was. I think we're gonna try to get a little closer from our edge from over here. So there was two layers of security essentially. There was a fence where you could I could walk up to it right now, and then there was like a neutral zone, and then another layer of fencing, so that then you couldn't, the security guards were between those two barriers. I'm not sure if that makes total sense, but there was fencing, space, and then another fence, so that way there was basically to get through two layers to get into the encampment. And the idea clearly was to prevent people from going in so the encampment would not expand any further, as UCLA had put out a note to the demonstrators earlier to leave, and that that potentially could be expelled or potentially suspended or even arrested, but they never took any action. It's kind of hard to tell it's like they're putting up umbrellas on the encampment side, and it looks like they've even moved the fence a little bit. Does it look? Yeah. I think they moved it forward. I don't know who moved it, but it looks like it's further out, and there's more melee going on, and it's hard to tell from where we are, and I don't want to get bear sprayed, so I'm trying to stay back here.
You know, it makes you wonder, even if the encampment is almost breaking up itself. The reason I say that is because I see those umbrellas, unless they just have them up and they're twirling them around, but it almost seems like they are moving from the encampment, don't know where. But before we just saw a
they're
cluster.
moving the fences.
Okay.
I don't know what's happening now, but well, they're just moving people are moving the fences more and more. They're pushing harder and harder out toward the protesters. Scotty, can you show that? Look, they're just moving the fences out. So it's like they're trying to push back against, so the encampment protesters are pushing back against. And here's the thing too, who knows right now if any of this is about protest anymore? It's like it's just people here in a crowd. It's impossible to know if this is just now about creating problems. Who knows? And I think you might be right, Pat. There could be people who are leaving the encampment because they see that there's a potentially violent situation. Now there's fluids being thrown, potentially water. There's objects being thrown back and forth between I just can't believe there's no police out here to do anything. It's mind-boggling. Maybe that would make it worse, though. Maybe that's the idea, that if they bring police in, that it's already, so volatile that it could just erupt even worse. But now, I don't know if you can see, but they're throwing objects back and forth between each other, between the groups.
Can you hear a chopper? Desmond had said earlier that LAPD had left the area. I mean, even the chopper had left the area. Have they come back?
You know what, Pat, I can't really tell because there are so many news choppers out. So I can't tell if... Usually the news choppers are, they have to fly much higher than the LAPD. But I think Des is there. Des, do you see? You don't. Yeah, I don't see one either. I don't see.
Hey, Desmond?
Pat, you got me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Pat. Okay, there's no LAPD chopper here right now. There has been some talk of mutual aid officers responding to this, maybe 50 officers. It's not clear if those are LAPD or UCLA school police, but it really is incredible the anarchy that this has descended into with zero law enforcement presence. And now we just have sustained objects being thrown back and forth, water bottles, poles. So it looks like the people in the encampment are now kind of moving, I don't know if I would say on the offensive, but they have moved up their barrier.